Johnny Cash, the official concert experience at the Orpheum Theater coming Friday, the 9th. This is an amazing show. You are singer, songwriter, performer, and guitarist, the only woman, first and only, to play for Johnny Cash. What a title that is unto itself. And we'll get more to the show here in just a second. But, when Johnny first brought you up on stage in Baltimore way back when, on a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous were you?
12. I had to go above your numbers
That's
there.
fine. That's fine.
It was one of those moments that, you haven't in life in all different situations. Okay, this is it. So you're neither going to blow it or you're going to nail it.
Yep.
And I thought, well, I'm going to nail it, and I did, and it was amazing. It was like really once in a lifetime type of situation, and I just it just shows you anything can be possible in this world,
100%. And this came long after you and Johnny had to establish a friendship, because you met him when you were young. How old were you when you met Johnny?
I was 12 years old the first time I met him, and I was friends with him for over 20 years. And I've got all kinds of pictures of like from all those years, so you can watch me grow up as I went to go visit with Johnny and see him and be around him. And I had the privilege of being a guest at their home one time.
Wow.
And just the most wonderful people, he and June and the entourage,
Sure.
the family that traveled with him, because he had all his family with him most of the time, and just great. And this show is honoring Johnny and his legacy in such a beautiful way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and how does that friendship stay together? I mean, did he see something in you where he wanted to mentor you, or was you just were a pesky 12-year-old who wouldn't stop talking to him?
Kind of somewhere in between. You got to be honest about all this. Well, I was a fan,
Sure.
when I was especially very young, and then I would say my relationship with Johnny was more of an acquaintance than like a really good let's go hang out together type of friendship.
Sure.
But he always knew who I was, and we were always, when I would see him backstage, he'd say, "There's Debbie. He's the only woman that ever played lead guitar for me." And I would have loved to have worked for him, but he had Bob Wooten, and you can't beat Bob.
No.
He was the man. So.
Yeah, for sure. Getting back to your days in Virginia and Norfolk as first radio DJ and interviewer and so forth. Other than your conversations with Johnny Cash, who's one of the favorite people you've ever had a chance to sit down and speak with?
Oh, I did a lot of interviews back in those days, and I don't know if people still remember the actor Dennis Weaver.
Yes,
I interviewed him, and then I also did an interview with Buck Owens.
Okay,
and Kenny Rogers. I got to MC at one of his big concerts when he hit really big,
Sure.
like The Gambler and Lucille, songs like that, and 10,000 people, and Hank Jr., I got to be around him and MC a show with him, and so it's quite a privilege, to have that kind of opportunity to talk to these people.
my first album at the tender age of, I think it was like 4, was a Kenny Rogers and the First Edition album. Yeah, for sure. So let's get to the show. Johnny Cash, the official concert experience, again, Orpheum, the 9th of February. Now, don't you dare call it a tribute show, right? I mean, what can we expect?
Right. It's we call it or refer to it as a celebration. Okay.
Okay.
It's a celebration of Johnny and his music. So it's not a biography, journey through his life and all of that. And Johnny is on this 20-foot screen. It's very impressive. It's huge. And only thing that's coming from Johnny is his voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's his singing, okay, and his talking, of course. But all the music has been culled out. They went back to the old Sony archives, found this footage from his old television show, and some of it hasn't been seen in years, And so he's up on the screen, and then we have the live band. There's a 5-piece band in front. I play the lead guitar, and we're accompanying Johnny note for note. And so it's kind of seamless. You don't even realize, that we're playing and he's singing, and to hear his voice booming out in these concert halls all over America,
Right.
Again, at many of the places that he played, because we'll go and they'll say, "Oh yeah, we saw Johnny here back in the 80s or whenever it was," and people's hearts are being touched by the message of his songs because he's still relevant today, just like he was. It's been 20 years.
Yeah.
since he passed away now.
And I think you're right. I think the experience is the right word to choose here, because everything you described, you want the viewer, the audience, the listener to get immersed in what they're seeing and forget about the fact that Johnny Cash, unfortunately, is no longer with us.
That's right. That's right. And there's a lot of young people that come to the show and who have never had a chance to see Johnny,
Right.
And I mean, I've seen them with tears in their eyes. They say, "Oh, this is so wonderful that like I would have a chance to see him, like this and hear his music." And then the band itself, we've got two wonderful singers, and they do some songs in between, so it's kind of a mix. And then there's some of the numbers. We get to perform with Johnny, like we're doing the background, and then Johnny will sing the first verse, and then our singers will do the second verse of the song, and so that's really special.
From your experience, from what you could tell, other than his job of being singer-songwriter Johnny Cash, were there things like hobbies he was really passionate about that someone might not know?
Well, Johnny loved hunting and fishing.
Okay.
He was an avid fisherman, and he would go off on these, deep sea fishing excursions and things like that. And he was collected a lot of things. He was really into history and Bible study, and so he was a very a learned man.
Sure.
And I'm very. If you go to the Johnny Cash Museum in Nashville, you can see a lot of the things that interest him there beyond just music.
Got it. Okay. Well, listen, Debbie Horton, again, the only woman to play lead guitarist for Johnny Cash, all part of the Johnny Cash, the official concert experience show at the Orpheum, 9th of February, and tickets still available through selectaseat.com. I encourage you to get yours. You can also enter to win over at KFDI.com. Debbie, real pleasure speaking with you, and I hope you enjoy your time here in Wichita when you get here.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, JJ, and you have yourself a wonderful day.